Very smart logic on your part. Take the Kennen out. Make sure that you can't have that big teamfight ultimate. But then you look at the 4v4. Again, early to mid-game, the pick potential of this BLG comp is there. And nearly had a flash away from Bin, who had a solo kill as we go over to the other solo lane. Xiaohu gets seismic shoved right back into Knight, has to burn the Ghost. Now has to flash as he's nearly 1 Q away from death. And Waybo have decided that JJ is going to be the response, looking for a dive here. The stun lands into the flag and drag. That was beautifully comboed. Viper flash to try and find a trade, but it's a sick dodge coming out from Urha. And all of a sudden, Waybo come out with first blood. Ever aggressive looking for the trade. Elka player, our first team all-pro AD carry, and there is no bigger test in the playoffs than going up against Viper. And it's going to be so fun to watch these two go blow for blow as the series goes on. But for now, we have the Dragon being started here by Waybo. Piercing arrow from Viper, not going to go for the steal, and it's just going to be secured by JJ. Poke damage comes out onto Elk. But the early thing to track for top lane is going to be how does Zika find himself a way out. On is looking for a nice little tether into the chains of corruption. It has to force out the barrier from Elk. There are no ultimate on this Yunara, but Elk is able to walk back out thanks to Urha's peel. And now Xiaohu and JJ, they're looking for the realm warp in. Shun is in the area, but this is a 4v3. And now a 4v2 is Viper and On are going to use the portal to get themselves all the way out. On gets knocked up and hit into the rune prism. But he still doesn't take enough damage. Finally, Elk will step up and find that second kill. Good little try there from On with the bar trickery, but it's a 2-0 Elk Yunara to open our game. That through turret plates, or maybe a creative dive here with cease and desist up. That cancel back might screw over Zika, but it's okay. JJ's here to cover. Weaver's Wall comes across, and hey, still a numbers advantage over BLG. There is the slicing maelstrom, the stuns land, but the seismic shove comes across first, and Knight's able to flash out despite the turret aggro. They won't find the second kill onto JJ, but the fact they're able to come away with a 1-0 dive like that is promising. This was spotted by Waybo. They at least saw him take the skull. They have to think, all right, he could go after the grubs right after, but JJ instead clearing out some vision in the mid lane. They're going to catch On, trying to roam On over. Zenith Blade's going to bring Urha over the portal. He puts down the solar flare as well. On going to get rooted up thanks to Xiao, who should be able to find this very critical kill. So BLG dominating the top side, but it's Waybo scaling units that have all 3 kills.
Yeah, he recognizes that he probably doesn't want to step up too close now. Still, he has to catch this wave or he's going to be so far behind.
Yeah, but with Slicing Maelstrom, it makes a dive even 2 versus 1 very, very cautious.
How about 3?
So they make it a 3v1. Yeah, good call there, Blocks. They're going to bring Knight right back on over. Sika's going to go into the Lightning Rush to get some move speed. Good dodge on that first Q, but it's the seismic shove of Knight that is the death warrant of Zika, no matter how much of a miss that was from Shun.
I really like what BLG are doing. They found a lane they could play through. They keep going for it. Erha looking to get aggressive. I wonder if you can wait a second. Yeah, for someone to go away.
Perfect time
Lovely.
from Urha. His Zenith Blades have been so on point. And who's going to be the real victor of it? Not just Waybo. More importantly, Xiaohu, who is now 2-0. Both of Waybo's main carries super accelerated.
Bin to get himself into some other lanes and just keep the pressure on going.
Oh my god.
Elk.
He had no clue. He must have been sitting in that brush for nearly a minute, and Elk is going to burn his barrier flash and ult. He had no idea until he was dead. Great find there between Shun and Knight.
And with a very critical bit of the mid game coming up right now, we've got a Rift Tower coming up in 30 seconds time, you've got the next Drake in 1 minute and 30 seconds time. You're now not going to have this flash for these 2 big fights that could well be game defining.
Oh, that was a game-defining turret take. First turret down, thanks to Bin. Perhaps we wanted to see them play out. It's a lot of turrets and, Void Grubs and Heralds here on the top side. Oh, hold on. This TP, oh man, Bin. No idea that both Urha and JJ are here. He flashes out of at least a solar flare, gets trapped in the Cataclysm, but the turret's doing a lot of work here. Xiaohu down about half HP. They have to TP Zika in with the Slicing Maelstrom. 3 versus 1 wasn't good enough. 4 versus 1 will get the job done.
Yeah, just a little bit of a brain switched off moment right there from Bin. He's going to die down in the bottom side of the maps.
Well, this is a big point here for Waybo, though. That conversation I was trying to have earlier about how the game's going well for both teams, and this Dragon take would be big. Tempered Fate from On, he's going to stall it out. Knight puts down the Weaver's Wall. Herald's in here, so Shun get himself out, but can he win the 50-50? No! It's Elk that secures the Dragon. Shun goes in with a cease and desist, but he doesn't have any help. Xiaohu and Elk just turn it right back onto him. Through the portal goes JJ, maybe a bit too audaciously. He's going to flag and drag and flash himself back out. Zika hits a huge piercing arrow. Flashes forward coming across here from On. Gets the kill onto JJ. Slow starting to stack. Xiao, who has to run with the phase rush. And Viper can't get close enough for any of these big piercing arrows.
Look at where Bin is. He is not in the fight at all. Look at where Bin is in our picture-in-picture. He's in the gray screen.
Yep. Members are behind Shun. That's
All of them.
that's the real question. Yep, it's everybody but Bin. Please don't fight over a red buff.
Whoa.
All right, Urha wants to do it. He goes in, is going to get stunned up, chained up from Viper. The Tempered Fate lands on Xiaohu and JJ in the background. Good play there from On. Cease and assist comes across into the seismic shove combo. Great little pick to find there by On. Does he go too far forward the portal? He runs into Elk, fully transcended, who gets the free hit on the Knight, but there isn't enough damage to make that a punish. Great find from On and BLG to clap right back.
Now they're going to try to turn things around, and Bin, he should have known that something was coming. He's been here for so long.
I mean, yeah, he needs to understand that he is the clear only play left. All of BLG are on the top side, and that is one of the big problems we've had with some of Bin's gameplay this year, getting caught for very little. At the very least, Viper redeems it by getting a very valuable tier 2 turret down. So do they want to try and force a fight? They know it's 4v5. Before that TP can come across, at the very least, they're going to start up the Dragon. Bring the aggro on over. JJ, the king of steals, it feels like in this LPL split. Can he go for this one? Weaver's Wall's going to block him. They go after On instead. And Waybo, I think they're just going to sack this Dragon. JJ goes for it, does not get it, and pays with his life. Too little, too late there from JJ. And it might cost Waybo a whole lot more than Soul Secure. Yeah, they don't have Zika's TP for the flank. He's going to try and walk his way in. They don't have a smite. They have to look for this fight over thanks to the resistance shred. Zika needs a big slicing maelstrom. He's going to try and go in, gets the flash, goes after Viper. Immediate cleanse. Viper is out. Baron secure for BLG as the fight begins to break out. Big piercing arrow onto Zika. Xiaohu trying to kite back. Elk needs to do a lot of heavy lifting here, but Zika's already down. Elk tries to go after Oppo, uses the blast cone to get himself back out. Urha's down. All of Elk's teammates are falling around him, and there's nothing he can do to clean it up. It's On fighting the multi-kill, and Bilibili Gaming breaking open game 1 with an ace. It felt like a culmination of errors that just got worse and worse, right? That Dragon fight, there's no reason for JJ to throw his life away to try and get Soul when they have so many more chances. It leads into the Baron, and now all of a sudden, BLG are up 6k gold and counting, knocking down turret after turret. And despite all of their woes in the early game, the part of the game where we felt they had to succeed in
around the Dragon, and that was a bad play from them, but it's even further than that. It's fighting around that red buff for no reason that initially snapped any control they had. Good dodge from Urha.
Yeah, he's going to bring Solar Flare back out. JJ's going forward, but they've rooted up Elk, and they've trapped him. A beautiful Chains of Corruption. Viper says no need for your hyper carry. They do find a kill in the background. Urha very low as well, and it's Xiaohu going right after Viper. He gets the Rune Prism down. He has the Seraph Shield to find that turret. Waybo doing some heavy lifting without their AD carry, but now they're sectioned off 2 parts apiece. JJ going to do the flag and drag, but Bin slams him down with the shovel, and he's going to hunt them down with the ghouls and the maiden. Bin's revenge saves a messy fight for Bilibili Gaming.
Oh my lord, we were talking so much praise right here for Elk, but that's now 2 team fights in a row that he's not able to have the impact that he needs, and that is going to be the base cracked on open. Another one of the goals we've talked about for BLG winning this game has been ticked off, and with the resets coming on through, you have to imagine third item's going to be completed pretty much across the board. From almost any position. This is not a team who you put down early and then just are able to walk on over. This team can fight back, and BLG, they've shown us a couple throws here and there, right? No gold lead is fully out of range in the LPL.
Push, 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 because my team is pushing the attack onto this Baron, and Waybo, I mean, they have an inkling.
Is it just gone?
But JJ, I mean, JJ doesn't get anywhere near this. The Tempered Fate from On is perfectly timed just in case there was any sort of 50-50. BLG are going to get this Baron. Waybo are going to make it a problem to try and get a fight on the backside, but it's a portal out from On, and BLG can just exit stage right. Sack the mid lane inhibitor to try and protect these side turrets, but again, they're going to stretch thin. Top turret is going to stay up, but bottom tier 3 goes down. Are they going to look for a play onto Bin? No, Zika doesn't even get close enough with that lightning rush. Waybo are just bleeding, and at some point, when are you going to fight back as that cornered animal?
Look at the poke coming through right here. Between Knight and Viper, they are constantly landing that
Elk.
poke.
They get onto Elk, but Zika goes forward with a huge slicing maelstrom. Viper has to cleanse, flash himself back out. The Cataclysm goes down, onto On. Zika finds that first kill, and now Elk can step up. He's starting to pump up the damage with his Transcendence. Sun goes into the stasis, but he is as good as dead. BLG, they poked the beast a little bit too much, and now Waybo are looking for more. There's the Realm War forward, but a huge piercing arrow from Viper makes it a problem. JJ gets the flag and drag. Bin knocked up. Elk finally joining the fight, trying to be the big damage, but Viper gets Xiaohu over the wall, and Bin flashes out to safety.
Super minions knocking on the doors. The TP, they're going to lose the end.
TP coming across. That's Bin. He's going all the way after the base, and Viper stalling out all of Waybo. They gambled after the Dragon, and they're going to trade Soul for the game. Giga Bin with the Giga TP to get BLG a 1-0 lead.
Still, it's been a long time, I feel like, since the Shen support has really been at the top tier of play. It was On that picked it up as well for himself, so he has shown it to us before. Into the Caitlyn Elise right here.
Starting to multiply, especially as Shun goes for this wraparound, and nobody's put any vision down yet. Elk is flashless. He is in imminent danger, and we'll finally realize it when it becomes lightning. He's going to connect for the slow. Good cocoon there from Arha. Flash forward from On. He gets the taunt onto Arha. He goes into the repel, flashes away, but Shun follows the flash to his own. First blood is found, but here comes the cavalry. JJ, how do you find this cleanup? There's a lot of summoners down, but Elk can't really step up. The vision is really bad for him. He's going to jump right on top of Shun. Can't even find that trade kill. Another trunk clutch taunt from On, and they'll go 1 for 1. Elk tries to cleanse off some of the slows from this Ashe, but Viper follows forward, and Viper finds the 3rd kill. 2.5 minutes in, we have 4 deaths on the board. Looking for a dive in revenge, but Shun is here to cover.
They don't know he's
JJ
here.
gets into the brush in time, but Shun, there he is. He went around to trick JJ. He's going to pounce on Viper, but he cleanses the stun. Oh, man. Shun and BLG are reading Waybo like a book right now. You know about reverse jinxes. Come on. I was playing the long...
Okay.
Nah, I'm kidding. You're right. You caught me. You caught me. I was not excited for this Ashe pickup. But hey, he's making it work. Oh, my God. Guys, there are other lanes on the map. Shun, has this guy even finished his clear? I mean, who needs to clear camps when you're clearing out champions? Elk dies for a 2nd time. I can't get you out of the spot. And I want to give more praise over to On for the Shen pick, but first we're going to have a mid lane appearance. Nice chains come across from Knight here. Xiaohu doesn't even have a chance to flash away. To talk more about the Shen pickup.
Yeah.
If I keep saying talk about the Shen, will Shun just show up where I'm looking? Oh, there's the Ashe arrow. The ultimate advantage. Flash for flash. Arha gets away this time from the taunt. JJ's coming in with the Grand Starvable. Shun's already taken down Elk. JJ jumps on top of Viper. Arha can't even find that trade. Viper flashes away just in the nick of time. And now JJ has no chance to find that trade kill. Knight covers with Xiaohu trying to roam down to cover for this bottom lane. But it's a toxic wasteland for Waybo. They can't do anything right on this side of the map. And it's Xiaohu that has to use the Between Worlds to once again back away from bottom lane. At what point do we have to quarantine the entire bot half of the map for Waybo? At what point? Well, they're not done fighting yet. They're like, okay, blue buff, that's okay. Gromp, we're going to make a stand here. Or are they? Because they know On's over the wall. They don't know where Viper is. They now finally mark Knight. The Gromp's going to reset soon. Goes forward with a little bit of a Wind Becomes Lightning combo, but just a little poking and prodding. We are really fighting all out on this Gromp. Viper gets the slow arrows onto Arha. He has to go up into the repel. He's going to come down the same spot. Cressigar going to come down from Shun. That means no, Elk. You don't get to push any damage through. It's all for my Pookie Viper, who picks up one of the 2 kills as BLG continue the route. My hat goes off to On for the Shen pick. Now seeing it on the map, I realize why it's just so broken into that Caitlyn Elise. And so cool to see him understand the matchup that he's played so much. Oh, hey, Ultimate Chicken. I was waiting for it to make an appearance. Oh, it's not Ultimate Chicken. There's a top laner here. There's also a support coming, by the way. Here's On. Stand United. Hey, guys. Heard we wanted to 2v2 in this top side. And Arha thinking, all right, hold on. Support's got to be a part of this. I'm going to look for the dive. There's the cocoon landed. They're going to dive after On. He gets the taunt onto Arha. Zika flashes after Bin. Arha goes after him with the repel. They do get the kill onto On, and JJ's going to hop right on top of Bin. Waybo making things work on the side of the map they're allowed to play the game on.
United is going to be a very long cooldown. And as JJ, you could just try rotate onto the map, take Xiaohu with you potentially if you need that extra little bit of damage, and try to pick up these kills on the side lanes. Still, they weren't able to turn around and then pick themselves up the objective, so BLG, they're going to be able to grab themselves up all 3 of these grubs as well. Oh and maybe a kill too.
The Shun Masterclass seems to have no end in sight right now. It's impossible. JJ, it feels completely jailed out of this game too. Unless Bin makes me eat my words and walks up on a mid-wave.
Bin loves walking too far forwards.
Yeah, and he's going to go mini.
JJ's playing the long game.
Yeah, he's going to pounce right as he goes mini. And you see, all right. Okay, at some point, JJ, we have to go. I mean, Zika, I know he has dominance, but you're giving away health. Guys, can we pounce on him already? Oh my god, he hopped out of stun range, and now he got back under turret. Zika's going to go after him, slice and dice, goes into the dominus, and this time we'll have enough health to get it done, but that was way closer than it needed to be. All right, Shun. Are we going to really test our power here? 1 versus 2. He's going to flash, the Wind Becomes Lightning. He goes right in after Zika. Crescent Guard, but he doesn't have enough damage to get Zika. Won't be able to find that trade kill. Still wants to go 1 versus 2, cycling the cooldowns.
He's got Knight.
Boy. Here comes the big bad Knight, and Stand United on. He's like, I'm here to take up tower for you guys. Down goes Zika, and JJ will be next to fall. It was all an elaborate ruse by Shun to get BLG the real trade.
We've been talking about how good it is when BLG have got Knight onto a heavy roaming champion. Well, the LeBlanc may not have a realm warp, but can certainly move around the map really well for a while. You make a play, you get a kill, you get out instantly. Bot lane might now be under threat as well.
This is Knight. He's going to TP right into a trap, into a cocoon. Hello, Knight! That was a very audacious TP. Ben's going to run down Elk. He's going to try and flash into the brush, but that brush has vision on it. Vipers come over from the mid lane. Ben with a big Gnar bar. As TP's galore come out, Xiaohu has TP'd in from the minion wave as JJ shows up. Between worlds comes down. Xiaohu has to hop away. Only's going to flash, get the top down, and now Viper can let these arrows sing. Waybo, even when they feel like they have the punish BLG, it just feels like they're playing 6-on-5 right now.
Absolutely, the map is just so much smaller for Waybo, and JJ is also going to get tagged up by that Wind Becomes Lightning. Should just about be able to get himself under tower. Xun, though, he thinks he can keep going.
Oh my god, Xun, turrets are just a little added speed bump in the way towards more kills. Arha's going to go down, and BLG are at an efficient kill a minute in this game, too.
Down in the bottom line, 4-0-5 his score, only a 500 gold lead, so Elk has done a really good job of keeping himself at least toe-to-toe, picking up a couple of kills, doing well in terms of CS.
And you're playing to let Xun do anything he wants on this map. He is nearly perfect on the neutral objectives. He let one grub go to the wayside, but outside that, first 2 dragons are his, Rift Herald's his. The world is Xun's oyster. And back to what we talked about in the pre-show, right? We talked about Xun, how he's such a good complementary piece to the aggressive playstyle BLG want to play through their lanes, but I'm glad that he's reminding everybody, and more importantly Waybo, that when he wants to, he can turn that star power on himself.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Show up in this situation. If you've got all of these great carries around you, well, sometimes you can just take it on.
Oh,
Boy, that is...
my god. All right. Viper has aimbot. Riot, help.
What?
I mean, he's making Ash look flashy. In all reality, this is...
Okay, he's seen here, but you know he's just going to walk away in a straight line.
Did he? So he actually predicted this, Bloxer, because he put it further down. Oh my god.
Process there of, hey, I bet he's going to just not move. He then sees me fire the arrow. He thinks it's going to be straight at me. I'm going to move down. Okay.
Oh.
There's also this. This is the other problem that you have as Waybo in this game. Slayer.
How do I commentate that, Bloxer?
You don't. You just yell.
Oh, they're doing more. They're doing more. All right. Crescent guard forward from Xun, and that is Xiaohu using a defensive between worlds. On is in an audacious position himself, though. He does put up the no auto attack zone, dashes over the wall to safety, and Waybo's still
probably the only person at this point who can stand up to that level of damage.
Oh my god, Knight's setting a trap. They saw Xiaohu. They're going to use Bin to bait in, like, oh, it's a 1v2, it's a 1v2. Psych, it's actually a 2v2, make it a 3v2. Oh my god, he doesn't even show up before Knight deletes Zika. And Xiaohu, well, he has to get one shot, but he gets cut down by Xun. Jeje, Arha, and Elk are going to have to find a way to walk in. Arha misses the flash cocoon on the Bin, and Knight's over the wall. Oh my god, he's trying to delete Elk, but he gets spotted. Ace in the hole back over. Ben's going to block it, but remember, the Soul Lanes are just playing bodyguard because right now BLG are taking a 20-minute Baron. Ben will die to the burst from this trio out of Waybo. And Knight does an interesting distort. Oh no, they're going to go after him for that. His distort's on cooldown. All right, let's see how slippery this LeBlanc can be. There's the clone up. Knight's trying to trick them. He's going to distort away. JJ's going to flash after him, and JJ will find that shutdown, so...
A massive advantage off the back of that initial Baron take. Now looking to open up the base in the mid lane. Pretty close to doing so, although may just have to back away now as the remaining members of Waybo take...
Slaying a beast for fun. And that's what they'll do. They'll get onto Ocean Soul Point at 22 minutes after taking the first Baron of the game at 21.5 minutes. And we are still on that blistering pace for BLG to take themselves a 2-0 lead. And at this point, viewers, just sit back, relax, and watch some sick Ash arrows and Knight doing this.
Potentially getting caught out on the side lane, although Bin, still in a relatively strong spot, will try to make his way back away, a hop away. He's getting his Narbara.
I'm watching the Stand United cooldown. Oh, it's up in 10 seconds. I don't think... Oh, he goes Mega. Can he ult them off of him? Yes, he can. Does he have a hop? And Story has a slow. Oh, the Pierce of the Lance doesn't have enough damage. Bin just walks it out. He doesn't even need on. He says what On's doing. Yep.
Yeah, look at the rest of the map. That's going to be the bot lane tier 3 tower falling and the inhibitor soon to follow. The remaining members of Waybo trying desperately to defend their base, but they're now going to be contending with super minions pouring on in as well. And BLG, they aren't even done.
Grand Starfall, they're trying to make it a 5v4, but Shun covers enough for 3 men on his own. This Crescent Guard backs off all of Weibo, and he has the GA as Knight, eviscerates Arha. Cover for the dive as well. On doesn't even die as Shun comes out of the GA, does get pop up between worlds, but it's too little, too late. Viper spaces beautifully with his flash, and Knight gets to clean up all the rest of the kills with his Gnar next to him. Ash Arrow just makes sure that Xiao, who has to burn his last dash cooldown, which will be his flash. And the mid laners will go blow for blow in the jungle for pride alone, because the headline here is BLG might have just had their most dominant game of 2026 to put themselves on series point with a date against JD Gaming on the horizon.
That's it, 11,000, nearly 12,000 gold. Yuumi, my god, this champion pops up so rarely in games anymore that I'm forgetting its name. It's phasing out of existence for my universe. This is wonderful to learn.
You get to see that.
Indeed, and I've got to be honest, in the straight-up 1v1, the dog definitely wins. Hopefully for Arha, he's not going to be alone for any situations. Like you said during the draft, right, this should be very much getting poked out, pushed around right here in the bottom lane. The Yuumi really doesn't provide that much.
Ooh, nice exhaust onto Viper. Elk stepping forward, I guess, on Viper's melee range with Elk, and he's going to cut him down. First blood to Viper. Letting Elk know first team All-Pro should have been his. This is his league to run as the main marksman. We'll see how much of an everlasting effect that has on Shun's gameplay. Now that he doesn't have to worry about bottom lane, he can look for his own little trade. JJ, you just saw Knight off map. He roams right into it. JJ doesn't even flash. BLG are right back at it again. The full court press is dominating.
Usually taken over lanes in the 2v2, but they're not winning them right now, and then even when they do, Jun gets involved.
Oh my god. It's a flash on to get the tether. Elk is dead again. Viper does not have mercy. All he's got is Mystic shots. He is putting on a show right now.
Momentum, and so far looking so good. As you've been saying, right, there's a dance with JDG available to whoever's able to win this series. At the moment, looking like BLG are going to be able to 2-0 and up. Jun taking himself that first Drake. All of the bottom lane pressure, all of the mid lane pressure coming on through right now means that these Drakes are going to be exceptionally easy to take. At this point, you can just keep the pressure up. Jun hunting forwards, pushing on ahead with this Nefiri. Nefiri got a buff to the passive this patch as well, so he's actually in a pretty strong spot.
God. JJ, I mean, it's coming from all sides. Daggers from the top side. True shot barrage right down Broad Street. And now the call of the pack comes out here from Shun. It forces out the exhaust from Arha just to try and protect Elk. But I'm going to quote myself again from game 2 here, Bloxer. Bottom lane is a toxic wasteland that Waybo cannot touch.
As the bot lane of BLG, you get to go back to base right now, complete your Trinity Force, yeah, very close as well. Tier stacking's going through beautifully as well. Some booties in inventory for that extra level of survivability. Run back to lane, take that full tower potentially, and then just keep on going.
Oh my god, and Knight wanted in on the action, right?
Weibo's number, but still, Weibo were able to fight back more than the last 2 games in those previous series. It feels like they're just getting outpaced across the map. This high-tempo, full-court press, as you've been calling it, is just so infuriating to play against. Yeah, you get Bin's ulti right here. Maybe you get a kill onto him, but getting kills onto Bin has not won you any of these games previously.
I mean, is this the game 2 script again? This is exactly what they did. They went 4-1 against Bin to try and dive him under the turret. It is going to work out, but I think Zika, all right, he gets the nice Cassante shield to get himself out. True Shot Barrage is a little bit too late. Waybo finally on the board. The perfect game is ruined.
Yep. But the win still very much in favor of BLG. 5,000 gold the advantage. There is that first tower being taken down on the bottom side of the map, and you could just keep on rolling now.
Don't
moving
overstay.
up towards the top lane. Zika low.
They're going to have to give anything that's labeled neutral on the map over. It's not neutral anymore. It's BLG Void Grubs, BLG Dragons, BLG Rift Heralds. Elk fans, look away from the bottom lane gold difference.
I'm just waiting for this tower to go down to really see what it fully is. Yeah. It's a 3,000.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be a 3,200 gold lead. It's going to be very close to 3,200.
Bloxer, can Waybo do this? Are they going to let him?
Yeah. I mean, I think so.
I don't think they're going to let him.
Power top lane. Shun,
please don't steal it.
Oh my god, he steals it.
He steals it. Oh, Waybo, man. It's a nightmare that just never ends.
Domination Slayer.
I mean, I'm running out of adjectives to describe how one-sided this matchup is getting. That's the beat down the BLG are putting down right now. They've knocked out all the tier 1 turrets before 14 minutes, and they're taking over the jungle as well. JJ, that dash is pretty audacious. On gets the tether. They do go all out from Zika, but On flashes away from him, and the unleash power sends Zika packing back to base. To the point where Knight's going to side lane, so you can't put the Sivir up against the Syndra unless they lay a trap with Elk. He gets away from the Sky of the Week. Knight immediately burns the Ghost because he knows all of the Waybo armies coming after him. They use the Yuumi ult. A great flash. Shuriman Shuffle finally gets Waybo a positive play. They get the shutdown from Knight right onto Elk. There's something positive here of WBG.
They've got something. That's a little bit of gold back, right? You are going to lose out on the top side of the map to the Rift Herald. Make one so here is BLG. Mid lane tier 2 tower is just going to be taken out by the charge of the Rift Herald. I don't think anybody's going to ride the Rift Herald a second time towards tower. Probably just away. Yep. Oh no, actually is deciding to go on in. They are.
Oh, on. All right, you know what? We got to give him some grief. Oh no, but the Scout of the Week from Knight, they don't even get the trade on to On. It's
very good from him, but there were a lot of jokes, at least at the start of last split, between On and Off. We weren't expecting this to just be complete domination from the bot lane of BLG, but that has been what skewed the whole rest of the map. Yeah, Knight's been playing well, Jun had an incredible game too, but the fact that the bot lane are playing this well means there's nothing else to do for Waybo.
Longest gap for BLG, and this is the type of series you get with those other lanes going as expected. I mean, the Brigade forward continues. It's the top lane tier 2 turret taken down. BLG is trying to go for this deep flank onto the mid lane with On and Viper, but they'll just simply slide on over to the BLG strong side, which is Knight looking to solo out Zika. The all-out does get him enough damage away from the unleashed power, but the Scout of the Week is so precise here, and it's an unpowered arcane shift forward from Viper that gets himself a 5th kill. Waybo trying to collect back with a big flake from JJ, but another scatter is going to chunk JJ down to about half. He doesn't even get the Cyclone out. Knight cuts him down to size with 1 Q. Xiaohu doesn't even get to arrive to the party. Elk is getting body blocked here from Bin. And there's just nothing Weibo can do to break this titanic wall that is Bin and BLG behind him. The fact that he can just maneuver around this all in from Zika. Ooh, pick on to Knight himself from JJ. Here is a 400 HP shield here from On. I got you, buddy. And Viper will come in to finish off that kill. Jed down, and even if he was up, I think BLG go for this Baron. Now it's Baron's death warrant has been signed.
Absolutely it has, and you're just going to have to try for some kind of miracle steal right here as Waybo. I don't know if you can even just afford to concede it still. With Xiaohu down on the bottom side of the map, do you have the numbers to try? What can you throw over? One boomerang to try to steal this one away? I mean, maybe.
We're trying to circle on to BLG now. Xiaohu teleport off to the top side. They're going to try and go after Viper. Let's see how slippery he can be on this Ezreal, because Zika has him cornered. The all-out pulls Viper over the wall. He flashes back over, and Xiaohu will finally find that kill. They get rid of the big Viper, and it's Xiaohu that does pick up that second kill. They sacrifice Elk and Arha to do so. But for now, Waybo do stop the Baron play. Now, with all the control on the spot side, they are going to get an uncontested 24-minute Mountain Soul.
Yeah, and I mean, what can you even slightly do about it? The Mountain Soul as well, I feel like is one of the better souls you can get here.
I look for a play there on to Elk, but Bin will just stand tall in the mid lane with about 10 bajillion HP. Now he's looking to turn with the Unstoppable Onslaught. The Baron's going to be picked up. Beautiful ult into the scatter combo. The Storm Surge gets the kill there down on to JJ. And now the slows are starting to stack. Elk pops the Ghost. The ultimate needs the final champion from the Yuumi, but the Scatter of the Week finds its mark again from Knight. And down goes Elk. Goodbye to your first team All-Pro 80 carry. But that was in the regular season. The postseason is a whole different beast. And Shun is ready to play in the playoffs for BLG. Down goes Xiaohu, and it's the final march here for BLG. You look up the word domination in the dictionary. Today, you'll see a picture of BLG, the team set up to potentially be the big bad of the LPL international stage, just made a statement win, a statement sweep over Weibo Gaming to let not just the league, but the world know this is what the peak of Bilibili Gaming looks like in 2026. It's only a matter of kills to find as they knock down Zika, get rid of JJ, and find the kill onto Arha. The most dominating series of the playoffs belongs to BLG as they 3-0 to send Waybo down to the lower bracket and have a date with JDG.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.